right, let's dive into something that honestly touches every single part of our lives: confident communication. And look, this isn't about becoming some kind of actor or putting on a show. Nope. This is all about unlocking the power to show up as your true self with real impact. So, you ready? Let's get in. Let me ask you this. You ever have one of those moments? You've got this incredible idea bouncing around in your head, you're excited about it, but then when you try to explain it, it just kind of falls flat? Yeah, that feeling is super frustrating. But here's the good news. We can totally fix that. And it all starts is exactly where we're going to start. See, before you even think about the words you're going to say or how you're standing, you've got to build this solid foundation, a foundation of real self-belief. Because that authentic, confident presence, it doesn't come from anywhere else. It really does start from the. Okay, so think about it like this. It's a huge mindset shift, right? When you're shy, you're constantly worried about what other people are thinking. Do I sound stupid? What if they disagree? And all that does is make you hesitate. But confidence, it just flips the whole script. Instead of looking out, you start looking in, focusing on what you bring to the table. And that's what pushes you forward. You know, there's this amazing quote that just nails this idea perfectly. It goes, "Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools because they have to say something." I mean, how good is that? Real confidence isn't about just filling the silence or being the loudest one there. It's about knowing your message has value and speaking with real intention. So the big question is, how do we actually build that inner foundation? Well, the material we're looking at boils it down to four key things. First up, you've got to be laser focused on your goals. Second, and this is a big one, learn to be happy and content on your own, without always needing someone else's approval. Third, get a handle on your emotions so they're not running the show. And last but not least, never, ever stop learning. You put those four things together and you're building some seriously unshakable. Okay, so once you've got that solid inner confidence, it's like you've built a perfect launch pad. Now it's time to actually give that confidence a voice. Let's get into the practical, hands-on tools that are going to help you speak with some real, genuine impact. So one of the sources we looked at breaks this down into 3 steps, and they're simple, but wow, are they powerful. Step 1, listen to understand. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Really hear what the other person is saying. That alone is a total game changer. Step 2, before you speak, just take a beat to organize your thoughts. You can even use a simple framework like problem, solution, benefit. And then step 3, practice getting to the point. Be clear, be concise. All right, and if you want to supercharge those skills, here are a few extra boosters. Instead of just making statements, ask open-ended questions that really get a conversation going. Try framing your ideas as little stories. People remember stories. Use pauses. Seriously, a little bit of silence can make your words so much more powerful. And always, always remember that golden rule. Listen way more than you talk. Oh, and don't forget to have some fun with it. A good sense of humor is maybe one of the best communication tools we have. And I really want to stress this. This stuff isn't just for big presentations or public speaking. No way. Mastering these skills can completely change the game for you at work, whether you're in sales, trying to lead a team, or honestly, just want to have more influence in your day-to-day life. This is fundamental stuff. So we've been talking a lot about words, right? But what if I told you that the words you say are actually just a tiny, tiny piece of the whole puzzle? It turns out the vast majority of how we communicate has nothing to do with words at all. It's all about the silent signals we're sending with our bodies all the time. Yeah, it's actually kind of shocking when you see the numbers. Some classic studies break it down like this. Your actual words, they only make up about 7% of your message's impact. 7%. The rest of it, the other 93%, comes from your tone of voice and, get this, mostly your body language. That's what people's brains process first, which is exactly why getting this part right is so, so important. So, what does confident body language actually look like? Well, first off, keep your posture open. Think shoulders back, no crossed arms. Use gestures that have a purpose, instead of just fidgeting. Try to maintain steady eye contact. You don't have to stare, just connect. And don't be afraid to take up a little space. Own where you are. And honestly, the simple things, a firm handshake, a real smile, they make a world of difference. Think about that. Before you've even said hello, your presence has already announced who you are. You literally have the power to command a room with your confidence before a single word ever leaves your mouth. It's all in how you carry yourself. So we've talked about the internal work, that foundation of confidence. And we've talked about the external skills, the speaking and the body language. Now for the final step, bringing it all together. How do we fuse these two sides to create something really powerful? This is the goal right here, what we're calling a confident presence. It's that sweet spot, that powerful state where everything is in sync. Your inner belief, your clear words, and your open body language are all telling the same story. And that's the key. It isn't an act, it's just you being authentic. It's you at your absolute best. And you know what happens when you hit that alignment? You become magnetic. People are drawn to that. This is the real secret to being socially attractive, to actually influencing people, to making a real impact. Because suddenly, people aren't just hearing what you say, they're feeling the conviction behind it. So, I'm going to leave you with one final thought, a question to take with you. Now that you have this new way of thinking about your own potential, what's the first thing you're going to do? What's that one conversation you're finally going to have, or that one idea you're going to share, now that you know how to find and use your confident voice?